Archers, attack! Keep firing! Let none escape! Another down! Do not relent!
Hello, fellow people looking for housing. I'm not sick. I screamed at the Royal Rumble. So if I sound weird, which apparently I've sounded like this all week, and I just now am figuring out on the recording, I'm Slidewhistle.
Yes, hello, it's Immunization.
It's me, Aaron, Fire Mage Extraordinaire, Heart Punching Bag, and Birthday Boy!
Happy birthday!
It's a birthday.
I'm flexing my birthday prowess to take control of the episode, and I want Holly Longdale to give us an update about player housing now! I demand it as a birthday gift.
Well, you are in luck, and as an early birthday present, yeah, this is yesterday, or was this actually today?
It was yesterday. Holly got her timing slightly off.
She wanted you to read it the day before your birthday, so on your birthday you could have the whole day to think about it.
I could wake up and just look at the article and go, "Thank you, Holly. You are ever so kind."
Yeah, so this was a full blue post titled Building in Azeroth, a first look at housing in WoW, and I feel like it answers a lot of the questions we've had about player housing, and I feel like it also just provided some information that like I wasn't even thinking about. So I feel like honestly this article made me more excited for player housing than I was, because I feel like maybe all of us to varying different degrees, it's like not like our like make or break thing that we've been like praying for in WoW.
I can't say that. I cannot say I gave much of a hoot about it, but now that I have a solid idea of what we do have access to, it's like, oh, it's actually exciting maybe.
I love that they're doing the neighborhood thing because that's so sick. And like, well, they said they're only going to have 2 zones at first for Horde and Alliance, but who knows how many we're going to end up with.
So, okay, the way I took this is they straight up said that, like, it's not easy for them to put new zones for housing. So they started with a Horde one and an Alliance one, a Horde one in Durotar, and an Alliance one in Elwyn Forest, which I feel like we kind of clocked that, didn't we? Like, we were like, I guess that just makes sense. So then the way I kind of interpreted it is, like, maybe in the future they would add more. And I think it's more so along the lines of like whenever they make a new expansion, if there is a cool place, then they will just make that place with a player housing option as opposed to like making the old ones.
Someone said as much online, but they definitely are like, we're thinking about it, wiggling their finger, meaning that like very clearly, yeah, we're starting with Elwyn and Duratan, and then moving into Midnight, we will definitely get a Quel'Thalas and probably like a Gilneas with their big pointy houses.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anywhere where there's free real estate, it's Gilneas, where only the Worgen RPers show up.
What will this mean for their community?
Yeah, are we going to be... I wonder if RPers are going to be chasing people away, because it's like, I've squatted in Gabriel Gimdom's house for 10 years. Now you're just claiming I need to move into new housing? Like how dare they kick them out of Greymane Mansion? Me and my 5 best friends have been here since 2012.
How do you think the Blood Elves feel? That they're, I mean, I guess they've been living in Orgrimmar for God knows how long, but their houses are going to be Ashara themed, right? Because like that area, like, I don't know, it's pretty orky.
Yeah, I mean, so the Durotar one doesn't, like, okay, so it looks like from what they've shown us, it has, like, some aspects of, like, Frostfire Ridge as well, right? Like, it looks a little bit like that, or am I interpreting that wrong?
It's definitely orc-themed, which, yes, you do bring up a general point, and maybe I'm Alliance biased here. I'm human in real life biased. But you stick a gnome or a dwarf in a human house, and it's like, well, this is inconvenient, but what can you do? But yeah, the horde races are so much more different. Like, it's tough for me to see, like, a goblin living in a tent and being like, yeah, this is what I signed up for.
This is my life. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Also, looking at the picture, I see why you thought Frostfire Ridge, but this is like the Eye of, not the Eye of Ashara, the Ashara there's a word in front of it. I don't live there. I don't know what they call it. But like the coastline, the shading makes the water area look like snow, but it's definitely just like orc cliffs.
And waterfalls. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It looks like there are going to be distinct zones in these neighborhoods, at least. So you could have like a variety of different places, perhaps, to set up your house, kind of giving it like different like ecosystems type.
Which I have to say is unfortunate. I know it's just that they're starting, but Durotar and Ashara, I feel like are a little more varied than ours. They promised would be a combination of Elwyn Forest and Westfall. I guess it's just whether you want your trees or not, but it's like, you want plain Jane or plainer Janer?
Yeah, I'm scrubbing through the article to find what two they said, because I think they said the other. Well, that what's that spooky area? The
Duskwood.
Gloomy,
It's Duskwood themed.
I think it's Duskwood and Elwyn. I think are the two. I think.
I actually think I thought I remembered it the way that Aaron said it, but I don't remember.
I guess Duskwood would just be, do you want your house during the day or during the night? Because not that I've gone there a bunch, but their homes are pretty much just human houses because it's a human civilization. But if I can get some spooky bushes in the background of my yard, I'd appreciate that.
Oh yeah, you're getting the spooky bushes. So there's 3 in the Alliance one. It takes inspiration from Elwyn Forest with touches of Westfall and Duskwood. When they say touches of Westfall, do they mean like bales of hay, or do they mean like broken towers? Like which part?
It's definitely going to be
a giant tornado.
There's a Defias Brotherhood guy who's he's just in your backyard, and you have to go and fight him. Get out of here, Defias Dan.
I mean, I kind of interpreted it as in like the majority of it is going to be forested, like Elwyn Forest, but then on maybe some portions there is less trees and it's flat, and there's like farmland maybe, and then in another part of the forest it's spookier. That's kind of how I interpreted this.
Yeah, here's what Holly said. If somehow you didn't read this, or if you haven't heard this somewhere else, there's 2 reasons for their decision for putting the zones there. It says having many housing zones conflicts with their second pillar, so they want to design a feature that is deeply social. Because, it's an MMO, even though people don't want to play it like an MMO. So they want you to share zones. And then they said, what we said earlier, zones are a lot of work. So we want to just take some small zones, start there, and kick it off, basically. Because, imagine being able to have, an apartment complex in Ironforge. How fucking sick would that be? But obviously that's going to take a while, if they even are thinking of doing that.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking about doing with that. The social aspect, though, I want to talk about that, because in here they said something where I feel like we may have talked about this or surmised about this, but the concept of neighborhoods, they're just outright giving us now at the very end of this. And they're saying that the neighborhood concept is roughly 50 plots for people to put their houses in. So then they suggested you could do it with your friends or your guilds. And then there could potentially be public neighborhoods where I guess, is that just first come first serve of this? The your shard, air quotes, shard or neighborhood of 50 would be just filled up with 49 other random people. I assume it would fill pretty quickly at the beginning. Maybe not as quick later on, but I feel like the public neighborhood is a crazy concept to me.
I'm going to be sad if it works like real sharding, where it's just kind of you're thrown in with whomever. Give me my neighbor Dan, Duskwood Dan. I want to see him day in and day out. I don't want to.
You want NPCs in your neighborhood?
Well, no. I guess I just mean give me the same player. Gooble Gobble. I want him to always be the guy who lives to my right. I don't want a silly gnome neighbor and then I log out, and when I come back, it's hello, champion. It's me, a Draenei guy now. I'm oh.
Well, don't worry, Aaron, because you're getting your second birthday gift, because that's exactly what happens. The neighborhoods are instant, but crucially also persistent. So your neighbors can be your neighbors for years to come, or until one of you moves.
That is powerful. Please, not now. I get the best of both worlds. I'm Hannah Montana. I want one neighbor that I love, and it's Google Gobble. I love that guy. And then I want someone that I'm constantly beefing with.
Yeah, you need to have like the one neighborhood that's nice and the one neighborhood that you're always competing with. Like you see that he just puts up a trophy in his yard for getting AOTC, but we're like a few weeks behind.
He's just doing Fortnite dances. Oh, looks like you guys are stuck at Giblin Gobbleshanks, huh? It's like Giblin's really tough for our guild. They're kind of old.
I'm gonna work together with 48 other neighbors, and we're all gonna make like an HOA joke, and we're gonna bully the one person for not having their house up to code with the HOA and make them move out.
You have daisies in your front yard? That's not allowed in this neighborhood.
Paint your fence blue. There's no red in this neighborhood.
What are you, a dirty hoardy?
I know this place is Elwyn Duskwood themed, but we're going to need you to move that Duskwood stuff out. The sun never sets on Perfectburg.
Perfectburg. Well, okay, so these neighborhood concepts and the 50 plots, do you think that like it's every neighborhood is the same? So like will there be like people will like keep wanting to start a new neighborhood to get like the one plot of land they like the most? Like is there going to be competition over the more desirable locations?
You mean like having the door closest to the entrance? Is that what you mean?
Or maybe there's like, so like in like if you just like scroll up to like the picture of like the horde one, like say like everyone really wants to live next to that waterfall or just because it's pretty, you know?
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, so in my head, for some reason, I really took these concept arts as like a super concept. And in my head, what I'm imagining, for the Alliance version at least, was just rows of the same base house next to each other, maybe some across the street, maybe like there's like 3 rows of these. There's kind of like but you're right, if they're gonna make little zones in there and they're gonna move them around, I don't know how that would work.
Yeah, or is it just going to be like Animal Crossing where it's just like there is like a set space that you need to put your house and you could put it literally anywhere in this area? So like would 48 of them be like in the spooky part of Duskwood really close to each other just because that's where everyone wanted to live, and then 2 weirdos are like, I'm going to have mine underneath the tornado in Westfall in honor of Two Shoes Lou?
I feel like it's got to be preset. It's got to be, because people are going to try to break the boundaries. Once I heard it was neighborhoods, like my excitement is through the roof, because like what I was thinking is it was just gonna be like a house and everybody goes into the same house and it's instance and it's like a garrison but like a little better, because like this is sick. This is a great fucking.
No, that same here. The neighborhood concept itself made my excitement go from like 5% to like 60%. I'm like actually really excited, and then I feel like once we get more information about like what actually goes into making your house look cool, I think I'll be more excited. But before we go into that, because they kind of implied like what they're envisioning for that. We didn't get specifics, but they like said what they're thinking about. But like for the neighborhoods, you could have a public one, which I guess is just like 49 random people that you're thrown in with, or you can have a private one. I feel like that's what probably like people will do like for their guilds or like their groups of friends.
Yeah, it says private neighborhoods created by groups of friends or guilds to inhabit, progress, and customize. So that means, like, in theory, you could, like, I bet there's going to be online communities that, like, are like, let's get our neighborhood going, add me on BNet. No orcs allowed. We're going to gate this shit off. No, if your feet are out, you're not allowed in.
Damn, I wouldn't be allowed in on either of my characters.
Yeah, you're a beast. You're a beast race.
Can you imagine the imminent domain that is going to your Duratan neighborhood, literally these big orcish spires at the front gate, and being like, no greens allowed. It's like, this was our land. We cleared out the thunder lizards for you to build your house, Elwyn Greenstep.
Sorry, y'all, Duratar is gentrifying. You gotta get out of here.
Yeah, wait. We didn't talk about that yet. The fact that, here, I just read the quote. Furthermore, it's not just warbands that cross factional lines, but friendships. So you'll be able to live in or visit your friends' or guildmates' house and their neighborhoods with minimal restrictions regarding faction. For example, while it's not possible for your human character to buy a house in the Horde Zone, your troll character in the same warband can, and then your human can use it as if it were their own. So one house, one account? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what they're saying here. It's that one house per warband, but like a warband just means a count, right?
If I
Yeah.
see a damn corpse come out of one of my beautiful Duskwoodian houses, I'm calling the HOA. I'm filing a citizen's arrest.
Get the pitchfork transmogs on, get the torches in the other hand, and let's fucking picket this house.
No, you don't understand. This was my house when I was a human. You were never human in my eyes. Get him out. Yeah, that's when Growlina uses her ultimate power. She transforms back into Susan. It's like, you don't want to face the wrath of a angry white woman.
And I mean, and that's fair. And this is also very interesting because the whole time, right? They're saying for instance content, you cannot queue with a Horde into a dungeon because the other 3 people might not want to play with Horde. But there's nothing of that mention in player housing. So does that mean by midnight, is that when it's coming out, we're going to have that taken away from the dungeons? It's going to be gone finally?
I do think that they said at some point, don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure, maybe I imagined it. I think they said that that is their ultimate goal. And I think there's just something on their end in the code that makes it a little harder. That's why you need to like preform a group to queue for it. But I do think that it is their goal to make it so that you could just queue in randomly, or like not randomly, but like because you can queue in randomly and be paired with Horde if you're Alliance, I think.
No, you can't.
I just know that you can't queue with just a group less than 5 that's mixed.
I think the thing in the code is the players. I think they're just soft. They've been soft, the softest of soft launches to peel back each of our Alliance civil liberties. So we have to work with the mud people. Which at this point, whatever, people in our guild, we have a what 3-4 hordes? They're multiplying.
Do not remind me. I was just thinking, having a private guild neighborhood is going to be so rough because there's going to be goddamn cows and blood elves walking around like, it's me, Scott. I've always been a cow. And it's like, don't
I'm
remind
like, no,
me.
you have not, first off. But also, I feel like in guilds, I feel like our guild maybe in Shadowlands was a little clicky, so like it was a little rough, but I feel like we've kind of gotten over that. But like I feel like this could be bad for some guilds where it's like you would probably want to be next to your house. You would want your house to be next to like your best friends in your guild, right? Which could then create some weird tension.
Which leads me to my next question. What are y'all doing? Are we doing the guild private neighborhood or are we gonna go public? Take the stock of DNR public.
We are a public traded podcast now. So y'all sign up. The first 47 get to live with us.
Tell you what, we're opening it up to everyone who subscribes to our Patreon. Can you imagine how terrible?
Oh my
pay us
God.
$5 to earn your spot in the DNR neighborhood.
We're joking. People are gonna do that.
100%.
You know there's gonna be a fucking Belluar gated community.
Personally though, to answer your question seriously, I think I would be okay with doing like the guild one if that's like what they want to do. No one's really talked about it yet. I mean, I don't know that anyone has voiced an opinion in our guild about it yet. I would also be okay with doing like just the 3 of us joining a public one together. I feel like that would be fun too.
That's a whole segment. It's just a random checkup. These poor people. You know, a goblin moved in. I don't know about
actually,
that.
I think you might be onto something. We it's been a while since we've tried on a new segment. That'd be fun.
What if we each joined a different neighborhood and we pitted them against each other to have like a neighborhood contest and see who can get the best one? Because something
Who can do the best at the tri-neighborhood picnic? Your undead is cheating at the 3-legged race. He took off one of his legs.
Slidewhistle, did you put your name in the Tri-Neighborhood Cup?
But we just like we try to see how many we can get to show up in the tram at the same time. Well, you got 1 immune. Congrats. Aaron, you got 49. I think Aaron wins. Something that I can't tell if they're trying to make me think this way or if they're like hinting at it or if I'm reading too much into it, but they use certain words in this thing constantly. They say private neighborhoods created by groups of friends or guilds to inhabit, progress, and customize together. progress. And then it says earlier, 50 plot neighborhoods, letting players live next to each other, work together, and share in the rewards of being part of the neighborhood. What does that mean?
Okay, I have an idea. Hear me out. So you know how guild like achievement points are a thing, and where you get like a certain amount of them, you unlock like that's how you get like the Stormwind capes and stuff, right? So maybe like if as a neighborhood you guys do X, Y, or Z together, you unlock new things. Like maybe you get like new fences, or like you can upgrade non-house parts of the neighborhood. Like I don't know, are there gonna be like a public park in the neighborhood? That'd be cute.
Oh my god, there's gotta be public, or like a cul-de-sac where everybody could just like meet, or like oh man.
Now I've made the fatal flaw of allowing myself to be excited about things that I don't even know are going to be happening. So
I definitely, and I am making this proclamation now, I will try to start an RP group where we all just sit in the alley behind the Mega Mart and we drink potions together and just kind of talk about the people that pass by.
Tunnel snakes rule. Honestly, that sounds like there's so much. You know, the RPers are shitting themselves, because I'm shitting myself at the idea of just like 3 a.m. RPing by the trash cans with my neighbor who I see walking into his house drunk. What else? Oh, okay. So a lot of the people online, Blue Sky, Reddit, whatever, keep saying, oh, so it's like Final Fantasies. They're using Final Fantasy. I don't know. Is it?
yeah, I don't know either. I know that like a lot of people were worried that there was going to be I'm doing air quotes, a lottery. I don't know what that means. Is that a Final Fantasy thing? Some people were excited that in this announcement they announced that that is not going to be a thing.
So I'm unsure about the lottery portion, but I know that Final Fantasy's housing apparently is indicative of if you have a sub or not. So as long as you pay the price, you can keep your house. But it sounds like if you don't play, it's either if you lose your sub, or it sounds like if you just don't play the game for a set amount of time.
Like if you just don't log in Final Fantasy, they repossess your house, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and I don't know if you can get it because, of course, I don't play and I don't talk to people who do it. But if like, is it gone, or is it just like, oh, pay us the money and we'll ransom off your house again, or is it like, I don't know, pay us 7,000 more lirna to get a plot of land back?
Yeah, because they made it very clear in this that like even if you don't have a sub, they won't like remove your house from you, and that it will be there like whenever you decide to come back, which I feel like is I feel like that should be a given, right? I mean, like maybe down the line there would be people who are upset if they had a public neighborhood and then like 48 of the people stopped playing and then it felt dead in their neighborhood.
Oh,
Right.
There's like a Detroit housing crisis where it's like, I bought this in 2025. It's now 2030, and the vast majority of my houses, there's trolls doing drugs in them now.
Yeah, like I can kind of see a little bit of merit to the idea of doing that, because that would suck. That takes out like a big chunk of the fun of having a neighborhood in the first place.
I feel like they would move them to, and I hate to say, but like a derelict neighborhood, a slum, and then maybe, so let's say we had 15 people that lived in an empty community and there were 17 spots. We can move them over and the old unused houses go to like Nowheresville. And then as long as you trim your yard and paint your fence, you can earn a spot in a real neighborhood again.
That'd be funny, but like I just was thinking a little bit more about it, is that like I feel like they did very clearly say that like moving is a thing. So I feel like if you ever do find yourself in a position where everyone is no longer online in your neighborhood, you just move to a different one that is currently filling.
Okay, so I've asked my Final Fantasy friends about it, but they're too slow to respond. They're responding now, but I Googled it. Polygon has posted an article called Final Fantasy Housing Lottery Schedule for February 2025. And my mouth's already like, what? And it says the lottery system consists of 5 entry period days followed by 4 result period days. You'll need to place your bid during the entry period days, and if you win, finalize your purchase during the results period days. Now get this. If you don't claim your win during the results period, you will forfeit the plot and lose 50% of your deposit. What the hell?
This is just
What?
real life.
Why
I'm
did they
sorry,
want-
you accidentally dinged up your front porch with a fear ball spell. You're not getting that 8,000 Learmer back now.
This is crazy to me. So you're telling me that you could just not qualify for a house just because there are people who are bidding more? Or like you just... This is wild to me. I just don't get it.
It's also, I guess, I don't know if they say it, and I guess if there was a small price, I'd understand, but you have to physically you have to pay monies for your home. Like, it's one thing for furniture and stuff. I'm assuming that I can get my spot in Perfectburg just for free, just because I play the game.
I wonder. Yeah, that's crazy. They must take up a lot of resources. Maybe they're. I'm trying to figure out why not enough server space has got to be it. So that makes me a little worried about WoWs because, like, I mean, I guess they're trying to get ahead of it so that doesn't happen. But I don't know. I feel like, are we gonna run into the same problem? Or are the neighborhood servers gonna be down? And sorry, you can't access your house right now. Too many people are showing up.
That's why I feel like that won't be a problem, though, because it's limited to just 50, right? So, like, I don't think it'll be, like, that crazy. They also made it very clear in their A Home for Everyone section. It says that there will not be, like, exorbitant requirements, no high purchase costs, no lotteries, no onerous upkeep. So, like, then that's where they say if your subscription lapses, don't worry, your house won't get repossessed.
Oh my god, one of my friends lost his house.
No!
Now he has to be a lotto slave if he wants one back.
A lotto slave? You have to go to, like, the lottery office and then put in your ticket.
Oh my god.
And so he has to pay more money to, like, put in a new deposit? Like, did he not get any money from his last one being repossessed? How did this happen? Did he just, like, not sign on for, like, a month?
I know after 45 days they repossess your house.
That's and granted, I guess if you're really into an MMO, like, you'll show up in that amount of time. But God, the amount of things I haven't done for 45 days just because, like, I forgot. Yeesh.
Damn. Okay, so because, like, when I saw them, they posted that, sorry, don't worry about costs or lotteries. I just thought that they were making, like, IRL housing jokes at first, and then I saw the comments and I'm like, oh, that's. I mean, I'm sure that the houses in Final Fantasy are probably better looking, right? I don't know. They look like real houses, maybe. I guess I never seen a house before in Final Fantasy.
But based on what I know of Final Fantasy, it's probably you can get real branded furniture. Like, it's like, oh, we actually paid for the license to have IKEA furniture in your home. So yeah, it's like you can build a photorealistic home in there. But swear to God, if you miss one payment, you're done.
God damn. Well, I guess that's good to know that's not going to happen. But again, it makes me wonder if that's going to affect the quality of the home.
Well, I mean, I feel like we shouldn't get our expectations too high about what, like, our WoW homes will be like. But I feel like I would rather be on this end of more casual player housing than whatever the fuck they have to deal with over there. I'm not getting into a lottery and getting my home repossessed in an MMO. Like, what the fuck? Y'all are crazy for that.
However, if you do want to enter a lottery, we are giving away one DNR branded home in our neighborhood. All you need to do is join our Patreon.
They're gonna think you're serious, Aaron.
That's why I said just kidding. There was goofy music and then it cut out.
But just to get back to, like, the player housing, they said that there are certain pillars that they are designing player housing based on, and they are boundless self-expression, deeply social, and long-lasting journey. But like the boundless self-expression part is what I was talking about earlier, where like they say that they want us to be able to build a house that shows our personal tastes and allows us to create something that we like. And that the tool set should be easy enough for anyone with no 3D experience to be comfortable with using it successfully. And they want it to be powerful enough that like normal players could surprise them with like what we are able to create with this system. So I'm
Wait, what? I never even read that paragraph.
No, that's why I feel like it might be a little more than what we would be expecting. Because like I feel like the baseline thing is just like, oh, you could put a chair, but like there's like 2 spaces that you could choose to put this chair. You know what I mean? So I think it might be more similar to Animal Crossing, like home makeover or whatever that one is called.
Happy Home
Can
Designer.
you make 3D objects in that?
In Happy Home Designer?
Yeah.
Cubby Bub, Happy Home Designer, were you able to make 3D objects in it?
Like what?
Like create custom 3D objects?
Well, I don't think this is saying that you could create 3D objects. It's just saying that you could place them in 3D.
Like
You
what do you mean?
you can place any item in 3D.
Yes.
Yes, I'm being told. I'm sorry, I distinctly
I
had
don't get
to.
the question.
You can place anything in a 3D space. So like up, anywhere on the floor.
Yes.
Okay. I specifically defaulted to Cubby Bub because she is the ultimate Happy Home Designer fan.
I was confused because the way this reads is this tool set should be powerful enough for someone with no 3D experience to be comfortable with, right? But it should be powerful enough that players can surprise us with their creations or drill down to get the tiniest details just right. In my head, that read as like I'm creating 3D objects because they're worried.
Yeah, it's like you're not just going to put a chair in chair space. It's sort of like Animal Crossing where it's like you can put things on the wall, you can dangle things from the ceiling. Like we can get more wild than just putting a piece of furniture in one of the 7 furniture zones.
So the way I interpreted this is the way that Slidewhistle has used like Habbo Hotel. Like you like what I'm saying is like you could set things up in weird ways, stack things on top of each other, do like position things in certain ways to make them appear as if other things. Slidewhistle, in Duskwood, you could have a haunted house perhaps.
They give me 2 rollers and 2 Z shelves. It's over. It's over. I'm going to make Falling Fernie and I'm going to scam people in my game. Come into my house, play my game, give me a piece of furniture, and then I'm going to scam them and then I'm going to win.
So you're going to scam your neighbors? Or wait, this is a whole nother thing. So like you can bring people that aren't in your neighborhood into your neighborhood to visit, right? I don't know that they've actually talked about this.
No, not in my neighborhood. No greens. No blues. Sorry, Immune. You got to change that skin color or else you're not making it in. Where it's light forged only over here.
Okay, I'll go Eridar.
It said something about friends coming over to visit. So I guess I could just make an online community on Reddit or something and message people and then get them to come to my house and then scam them. But okay, that's cool then. I understand now. And yeah, if they model like Habbo, they could do a lot of good stuff because they're not a fucking shitty Swedish company and they could do a lot more with it than be fucking awful at their job. Jesus, Habbo.
Pools closed due to blood plague.
Boba.
There was some 37-year-old individual out there who was like, yes, a classic Habbo pools closed reference.
So the second pillar is deeply social. I think it's just as implying that like housing within neighborhoods, you could do it with your guilds or your friends. Although on our Blue Sky account, I like re-skeeted this and asked our followers.
I appreciate the desperate search to what a reblog would be.
Well, reblog is Tumblr. I mean, this is also. I feel like I do feel like Blue Sky is more similar to Tumblr in some ways than Twitter. But
I'm still throwing my gold behind Rebluty.
Okay, so I rebluted it and asked our followers what they wanted out of this or what they thought about it so far. And there was somebody who said, Well, I can't find it, I don't think, but like they said something along the lines of like they hope that like they don't have to interact with other people because they're not a social person. So like, I mean, one of the pillars is social thing, but I'm like, hypothetically, you could just make a private neighborhood and not share it with anyone, right?
Oh.
I own all this land. To just walk around your big empty neighborhood like, you did it, Smurgenstein. 10 acres all to yourself.
Oh, I found it. Selena says, it's a great concept so far. I just hope we get the option of not living in a neighborhood too. I'm not the most social person.
I mean, I get it. I mean, people are going to be coming around like me. Hey, your house isn't up to code, Selena. Get this fucking fence painted right now. And I'm joking, but she's going to be like, oh my God, I'm being yelled at.
She better watch out. I got my girl Yolanda. I'm about to move into your neighborhood, Selena, and you best watch out.
Oh no, Aaron.
Oh, I just got it. I was like, who's Yolanda? That bitch. She's getting out soon. I think I've been saying that for years. She's never getting out.
One, you've done your job as a Hispanic individual by being like, I know where Yolanda is. She's getting out, and when she gets out, she will not be out for long.
She's gonna get out and trip and die, but she's so old by this point. Like, I don't know. But, so the big conversation, not that big, but I'm surprised people weren't as mad at this. I think the neighborhoods really just got people so excited. It says, similarly, there have been discussions in the community on whether housing will be pay to play, pay to win, or not, along with other conversations around real world money. We've been very aligned in our internal conversations that housing is designed to be primarily player first and not revenue first. It's revenue second, because housing will offer hundreds and hundreds of decorations and house customizations via in-game rewards, but it will also offer a smaller number of items in the cash shop as well. What are they going to sell? What do you guys think?
My first interpretation is that it is just cosmetic things, but it also would not surprise me if eventually they put in like things for money that are actually like useful too, like a portal in your house. Like if you had a room dedicated to like portals to different places, or this is crazy, but like an auction house in your home.
I still think it will only be aesthetics, but I think it will be so cool or big that a lot of people will feel bad. Like it'll be like in your yard, you can have a stable where you can show off 3 mounts.
That's worth it.
But you
to
gotta
me.
pay us $10 to get the stable. So it's like, yeah, I don't need a stable in my yard. All it is just like eye candy. But at the same time, like you said, I might fall for that because like I want people to see my 3, if only just so I can put like 3 motorcycles in there. And they're like, what's that motorcycle doing eating hay?
Especially if you're in your public neighborhood and your bad evil neighbor next door, Bleeble Blorp, has bought the stable, then like you're gonna feel the need to buy the stable.
Yeah, he's over here showing off with his super cool mounts. I'm like, I'm gonna show you, Bleeble Blorp.
Keeping up with the Bleeble Blorps.
That's what I've always said. You know, it's really hard to keep up with the Bleeble Blorps.
Man, yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Ooh, okay. Did we get every aspect covered, I think?
So their last pillar is long-lasting journey, which says that it's designed to be an evergreen addition to the game, and that it will have its own roadmap, which means that they will have different patches and expansions for housing, and that they don't want it to be something that you can ever finish. I feel like that means that every expansion, they're probably going to add something that can then, you know, be added to your player housing or a new thing to work towards, because earlier they said that they want this to be something that is enjoyable for people who want to dedicate all of their time to player housing and RPing there, but then also to people who just visit like for a few hours a week or something like that.
This is going to set a precedent that personally I'm going to love. That additions to it will be just as important as in-game things. So it'll be in 2029. It'll be like, get ready For the last guardian will be going down under the sand to fight the Nerubian cyborgs. And for those who choose to stay at home, a man cave.
I was gonna say, yeah.
And that will get just as many cheers from the crowd, like, yeah, a pinball machine.
Exactly. That's like, and for the end of the Titan saga, we get to kill end boss, and also you can pay Tom Nook 100,000 gold to add an attic. Wow.
I have a response from Pokey, the man who lost his home. He says, "No, I have 2 homes. My third one is gone." Okay.
Okay. Whatever
Okay,
whatever
landlord.
whatever tears I cried have sucked back up into my body. I'm not crying for a slumlord losing out some of his property.
The system is interesting, though. So he says, but yeah, the system used to be, I don't know what it is now. It used to be a house would be demolished, and then at a completely random time between like 5 to 40 hours after the demolition, the plot could be bought. So people would camp outside the for sale sign and constantly check it until randomly one person got it right as it was on sale. He goes, even worse though, if you already owned land, then at any point, even before the sale period, you could transfer your land to any open plot. People would wait around for hours, and then somebody would just land transfer, and they'd have to scuttle over to their former plot and start the wait again. Someone I know had this happen to them 4 times in a row, then lost the lottery. Holy shit, this system is... I kind of like how chaotic it is, though.
Honestly, I would not participate in that system. I don't think that I would care that much.
Now I know why so many people are like sexually crushing eggs in the lobbies. It's because like that's the only place I got to go. I'm homeless. I lost out on the lottery 7 times in a row.
He says most players don't use theirs ever. It's all fun in games until you have to design an interior. So there you go. I don't know. Yeah, he's the one who plays the most. So maybe they're taking a lot of lessons from playing the MMO, and they're like, we don't want to do this system. We want to do it the way we would like to not have to wait to buy a house.
I will say, though, as well, depending on what the WoW system is for designing the interior of your house, I think I very easily will become obsessed with it.
Yeah, and like I don't think the WoW house will be that complicated, right? Right? It can't be. At this point, you're right, though. I should lower my expectations because it's not going to be anything I'm imagining. I am imagining Animal Crossing Habbo E, and it's definitely just going to be place a chair. Even though they said it wasn't, but, you know.
Yeah, we'll see. When is this actually going to be
Midnight.
released?
Midnights is, they claim, when it's showing up. That said, we don't know when. I don't know if we immediately head over to Gilneas and we have a house, or if it's like patch 12.7.
And then also, I'm very interested because like eventually this will have to be on the PTR, right? And then I feel like that's when we'll really have a concept of what it will look like.
Gandalin was saying he thinks pre-patch for Midnights, and that makes a lot of sense. Give players their house, and then Midnights, what if they just destroy the neighborhoods?
Oh no! It'd be like, sorry, Zalateth, she demolished your special neighborhood. You gotta start all over in one of our new communities.
All right. Well,
I'm not ready to return to the real
I know,
world.
right?
We've been in this housing bubble for so long. What's going on in the world?
Oh, I know what's going on in the world. How about the Enchanted Sweeper Bundle, which includes 600 Traders Tendies?
Okay, explain yourself, Slidewhistle.
So y'all have seen that pink sniper rifle witch broom motorcycle that we reviewed. Also, has anybody bought that yet from the Trading Post?
I did, yes. And I bought... They hid things from us. I'm mad. WoW had hid things from us because for free, you get a pink, like, Chinese Empress set, but you can buy a red one, which is... I also spent money on that.
Well, this is on Wowhead and Blizzard for both dropping the ball on the traders tenders post. But also I guess we could try a little harder too. But like I don't want to try harder. I just want to take
It
what
wasn't
they.
February at that point.
You're right. We were trying to be ahead.
Yeah, we were given a set of information that was incomplete.
Oh, but Aaron, the broomstick that you bought, can it fly?
Yes, it can fly. Our worries were for nothing. It is, I mean, you ride it like a motorcycle, but it dragon rides all the same.
Oh, and then I did some research for the team on the Siren Isles, on the Train Yourself to Fly quest. I let myself die, and it's less exciting than you would think it is.
You just kind of like fall out and fade to black, right?
So you fall off of it, and then you get your parachute, and then you fall down, and then it fades to black, and then it just puts you back at the start. So it's like really not even exciting.
Gay. I can say that. So anyway, back to the bundle. So you've seen the pink one. Imagine it in Night Elf purple and what's the other? High Elf blue, Verisa Windrunner colored, basically like that kind of pale blue. You get 2 bikes, which are just recolors, and 600 trader attendees for $30. No fucking
Not
shot.
worth it. Sorry.
You know, I was considering it mainly for the 600 attendees, but I don't think $30 is worth it. That's like, no, thank you, Blizzard. Maybe if it was like 10.
It's crazy because it's technically 2 mounts, and I'm not a fan, but 2 mounts for $30 seems like it'd be a good idea. But you can, not only can you get it for in-game free money, and not even a lot of it, it's only 600. Apparently, if you run the Valentine's Day dungeon, you have a chance to get other ones.
What?
So it's like, there are multiple ways to get this mount. I don't need it in these 2 shades for $30.
Wait, there are other shades of the sweeper in the...
Allegedly, if I've seen people post about it online, if you do the Crown Chemical Company dungeon, there's a chance to get another version. I think it's pink, maybe, because the one you can buy on the auction house or on Traders Tenders is red. But there is another one that you can get in the dungeon.
Yeah.
I don't know the drop rate, but like this event's only been happening for 3 days, and I've seen like 6 posts about it.
So did they add this as a mount that is like a better drop rate than the Rocket then?
I think yes. I mean, literally anything's better than the Rocket, but I've seen people getting it, so go out there and try. I haven't gotten it, but I also have only been trying on 4 characters.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the drop rate. I don't see... Someone says that they got the Heartbreaker and the Sweeper in the same box. That's crazy.
I'm going to find them and break their legs. I'm going to beat them up.
I'm going to heartbreak their legs.
I actually haven't run Love is in the Air dungeon once. I kind of just... I see it, and I'm like, I don't really care to queue in to kill Apothecary Hummel, or whatever his name is.
The only reason I am is for this new sweeper. Long since have I just been okay with not getting the Heartbreaker. But like, I was like, if this thing has like a 10% drop rate, then like maybe I'll try.
I guess there's other new transmogs too. There's a heart shoulder piece that I think anybody can wear. It looks plate, but
That is, so I don't know, once again, I don't know if that's from the dungeon, but that is one of the new things they added in the Love is in the Air vendor for 40 tokens, which is not a lot. Yeah, you can get 2 new shoulder transmogs. And then there's, I was like, I remember there being something silly. But there's a pet that's a living rose, and its face looks like a rose toy, like the vagina stimulant sex toy.
Oh my God.
People are having a lot of fun with that one.
Oh, I guess I see it now. And then I love the, when being adored, a living rose emits beautifully intoxicating aromas.
And that's why the Living Rose is this week's sexiest NPC of the week, baby.
I'm going to jam my face right in that. I'm sorry, my lower face, my lower mouth, and I don't care who sees. I paid my 80 tokens for this. I'm gonna enjoy
And
it.
let me tell you, the living rose is a greedy lover because the rest of the description says, when ignored, these aromas become actually toxic. Do not ignore your living rose, gentlemen and ladies. Get in there and...
Well, I feel like it's more so that the living rose will get in you with
When I saw it, I asked Cubby Bub, I said, is this above board? Does this weird you out? And admittedly, she said no, so I guess I gotta look around the house. I got some competition.
This thing is something else. The way that the vines creep down its body and its thorny protrusions, if you reverse cowgirl this living rose, you're really risking it for the biscuit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean, the rose part looks safe, at least, to stick up your anus.
Not my news.
But yeah, for only 40 love tokens. I mean, I feel like that's a deal for quite the pet toy thing.
Terrible. I'm just imagining that scene. It's a very specific scene from Orange is the New Black, where there's the person who's like, I love my husband. I'd never cheat on him. And then at one point, Piper turns around and sees that woman getting her vag eaten out. And I just imagine you round the corner, and there's your raid lead just absolutely getting bottomed out, emptied out by his living rose. Oh no!
Well, sorry, I just had to get this in quick before the pull, or else it would become incredibly toxic.
No, you don't understand. My living rose would have become toxic, as it's just absolutely cleaning out his downstairs.
I need to get one of these. I can't believe I'm gonna actually go in and spend my tokens on the living. I gotta make it big and have it next to me, especially on a gnome. That's gonna look fucking beautiful.
You're gonna have the living rose bore you.
And that's why, Living Rose, you're this week's sexiest NPC of the week. Now it's time for our top two, bottom boot, medium moot. Immune. I know it's Living Rose, so kick us off.
Well, I have a double top two.
Fuck.
Double
GTT.
Well, it was just gonna be one, but you said it had to be the living rose, so my first top two is the living rose, and by that I mean I more specifically mean that like 2025, like sexiest NPC of the week appears to be back and better than ever or something. I don't know.
Yeah, these people, they were clamoring for it. I post these things on the Instagram, and people came out of the woodworks. I was like, hell yeah, people demanded it.
Yeah, the demand is there. The pop, like how are they supposed to miss the sexiest NPC if we don't go away for a while with it? But it's back now. But my real top two this week is, Aaron, you mentioned it last week, the Lunar New Year mount thing, like the rocket that is like then disguised as Lunar New Year like costume. I got pretty high and I just went and respected a shit ton of elders.
I respected the fuck out of my elders.
It was admittedly a very good activity to do while on an edible. So I got my 40 or whatever, 80, whatever it was.
75.
75. There we go. I did have to go to the Wrath of the Lich King zone to get the rest of mine though. It was easy. It was fun. And the mount, I love this mount. It's so cool. So yeah, that's my real top two of the week. Slidewhistle, what do you have?
I've got a double top toot.
Double
DTT.
My first top toot is, this is a fake one, but it's a real one because I said it was. My friend Pokey's telling more about the housing, and I guess there's a man who he's mad that housing's limited, so in protest he owns an entire housing district. I think it's like a lot of people. Is it 100? 50 people? No, 60. He owns 60 plots in one neighborhood, and he's paying thousands of dollars a year because you have to have a sub.
like real life dollars.
Yeah, because he's using unique characters.
Wait, so he has 60 subs.
He
Yeesh.
says in protest, he was in quotes, has owned an entire housing district. He pays monthly fees and logs into each one, and he's done so for well over 6 years. That's amazing.
Some people have too much money, and I'm just like, why are you doing
It's
this?
in purpose of the housing being limited, so help them out, give them more money to fix it. But my real top two is the Revan pack that was for Ibelin, the dead WoW player who died of, I forgot the horrible disease.
Yes. They had the Netflix documentary, which once again, please go watch it. It's a real
Yeah,
good
it was really good. I also, the guild leader died. Did you hear about that one? Not my top two.
No,
but
oh my god. Oh yeah, he was in the
yeah,
documentary.
he had the hat.
He spoke at Ebelin's
He killed
funeral.
himself. It's like, oh my god, it's
Oh,
really rough. Yeah,
fuck.
I was reading
Gee.
about it.
I really hope that's not a result
know.
of the
I
documentary.
was thinking that too. Like, were people messaging him? I don't know. It just, that sucks. But the proceeds from selling the Fox backpack, and the pet, that was 100% going to support a nonprofit group that was dedicated for individuals suffering from the progressive neuromuscular disease. They got over $2 million just from people buying the shit.
Hell yeah, brother.
You know, I love when WoW does things like this. Just a nice little thing, even though, like, obviously they get their tax write-off from it or whatnot. But, you know.
That's the thing. But hey, 100%. I'm glad they didn't do like 50%. We're keeping it. You couldn't keep half the proceeds from that. There's no fucking way. But that's my top two. Aaron, what you got?
Oh god, you know what? It went in waves. I had something great that happened to me this week that I forgot. And then I had something that I scrambled to think of in like the last 10 seconds. But then how am I supposed to follow we raised $2 million for like this degenerative disease with like, oh boy, I sure did good at raid. So I'm going to use one day out of 365. I can just get to say, it's my birthday. It's cool.
Birthday
Yay.
pass activated.
Happy birthday!
HBD.
I don't need to pretend that getting cool Mog is on the same level as raising money for degenerative diseases.
Well, that's why I was fortunate to have gone before Slidewhistle slapping that one down on the table. But I feel like it being your birthday when we're recording this episode is either a top two or a bottom boot, depending on how you look at it.
You know what? 31s are really as I'm sure you. Oh God.
Yeah,
Bottom
we approached
boot.
that like part of the year where we're the same age, Aaron.
You're old. You're
Bottom
old. You're
boot.
old.
We get to for like 2.5 months. I'm no longer the hip, young, beautiful cherub of DNR. Immune and I are the same age.
I'm 19.
Okay.
I can gamble at casinos.
Yeah, Slidewhistle and I started dating when he was 8 years old.
I didn't say. He
Oh,
did.
that makes
Alert,
you
police,
the bad
police.
guy. He was too young. He didn't know.
Wait, what's your top? What do you got? What you got? What's the mog? Also, how was raid? We skipped that one. No, wait, no.
Oh,
we didn't- we
you
didn't
know,
talk
you
about
know
it.
what?
Oh, we did skip it.
That was going to be my top two. It was going to be that
That I skipped.
I was so tired Tuesday night, but Black Temple is such a nothing burger that I swear to you, I was physically present during the first guy, like the Naga in the sewers. We roll up on the second guy. I close my little eyes, and my body is so well trained to just physically be present that my hands were still moving. I was still playing, but I was not conscious until I woke up and I was jamming on one next to Illidan's body. Not only was I moving, not only was I fighting, I checked I was looting things, just asleep.
Wait, so wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. What's the last thing you remember? Do you even remember the Illidan fight starting?
No, I remember.
What?
So cracked apparently is my body that like I was sort of in the entryway. So probably when they split into two groups for like the single raid mechanic that matters, fighting the two green ghosts, I probably just sat there and did whatever. But like no one yelled at me to wake me up, or if they did, I wasn't there for it. So just muscle memory, just subconsciously, I managed to get through Black Temple.
That's actually crazy because I feel like there's a lot of areas you can get stuck on if you're like running into walls, like the pipes, going up the pipes, or like not running it, not pulling extra things. Not that it would matter because like it'd get blown up, but that's fucking hilarious. You were sleepwalking Black Temple.
I mean, how else are you going to do it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's honestly, you did it the best way possible. I think if I could be asleep and do Black Temple, I think I would.
But I think we actually just went to sleep instead.
But here's a shout out to a bunch of people who are not asleep. They're super woke. So fire them, please, because that's not cool in 2025.
Not in Trump's America.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking about Ahoy Vince, Ezra, and Hecky, Digital Dave, asking Growlina to say, for the Horde. Miskit, the Orchiddy Orc. Mitch wants to remind everyone that Rathion isn't daddy, he's a literal child. Crucifix, Muv, Chromone, the inaugural Dornagooner. Alternator, Saracen Hawk, Justin, give me back my PhD, Arcane. Kick Puncher, Dr. Foster, Grumpy Old Shaman. Jerome, Adorno. Losing the Patient, Gershie is going to ease
Come get your backpack.
Duff, the Horde Pooper, Cooper. Calcus, now moist maging.
I'm next to weather. Oh, this moisture coming up out of the Gulf is going to push us to the east and then Altuda.
Cilantro, Slidewhistle, Secret Stalker, Teehee, Adam N, Vanderlyle, and Will, a.k.a. Tire, Trade Chat's fallen father.
Shout out to our DEI patrons. If you would like to join them and be the reason this country is falling apart, you can go to patreon.com/DNR. We recorded an episode /Do Not Relent, not DNR. I got a finger wag and a point. I was thinking of a pun and now I lost it because of my funny joke ruined the link. Where you guys at?
Well, you can find me, Alex or Immunization, on Twitter at New Era Alex or on Blue Sky at Immunization.
You can find me, Aaron the Human, at the Bigacheesy on Twitters.com. I'm also on Blue Sky. Go to the show. I'll be around. And you can watch me play more Vigigrams at twitch.tv/AaronDNR. I haven't been playing a bunch because I've been sick, and you don't want to see me cough and sound like this. Can you imagine a guy with a nasally voice who's also sick? Terrible radio.
Well, it's time to go shove Aaron's face in a cake. And shout out to my homeboy, Jey Uso. He did it. He overcame all odds and won the Royal Rumble. Yeet.
Yeet.
Shout out to TRK. He really won the Royal Rumble. He posted about it.
Yeet.
Another down. Do not relent.
Do Not Relent is a podcast within the 3HNC network, representing U.S. Proudmoore's premier podcasts.
That was a very good wish.